It's been a minute, hasn't it? I was watching The Flash 2023 because I am a comic book fan and a trash panda. Y'all have no idea. Pastelitos, when the scene where we see young Barry and his mom comes up on the screen, we learn that Nora Allen is Hispanic. Wait, does that make this Flash and this Barry Allen Hispanic too? I have not been able to think about anything else. Am I obsessed? Kind of. Let's just get into it. Ándale, vámonos. When I first saw this movie, I was deeply, deeply annoyed. I don't remember Barry being this annoying in Zacky Zack's Justice League. Then I watched the Snyder Cut again and I'm like, yeah, he was good in that movie. What is going on? Then I watched the movie again and then it clicked. We are all super annoying when we are 18. I've seen this movie a couple of more times now and it's not that bad. I find it quite entertaining. Pastelitos, is it Aquaman or Wonder Woman good? Not quite. But it's not Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, or Spider-Man 3, or Dark Knight Rises bad. Stop lying to yourself. That movie is so bad, it's hilarious. It's the Room of comic book movies. One thing that stuck out to me in a big way was, like I said before, this scene with Barry and Nora speaking Spanish, Nora dancing and singing to an iconic Latin Hispanic song. At the end of the movie, when Barry sings, La vida te da sorpresas, sorpresas te da la vida, just like he do with his mom when he was young, I couldn't help but wonder, why is Barry Latin Hispanic now? I have a few theories, and I also could be interpreting this incorrectly. That can happen too, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. And here I thought Jamie Reyes' Blue Beetle was supposed to be the first Latin Hispanic superhero. Cisco Ramon preceded all y'all, and where's his movie? Honestly, my favorite character in the CW Arrowverse Flash. Wait, El Chapulín Colorado was the first. Where's his movie? Back to the topic at hand. Here are two reasons I think Barry Allen is Latin Hispanic now. Number one, Ezra Miller looks vaguely ethnic. Since I was called exotic a lot, I'm going to refer to Ezra's looks as exotic. Equal opportunity sexualization. Pastelitos. Yes, I find them extremely attractive. Gosh dang it. I hate myself so much. For a lot of reasons, but right now for this. Pastelitos. Anyway, they don't look like typical white people. At first, I was surprised Barry had a Latin Hispanic mom, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. The Latin Hispanic ethnicity contains the entire world, all cultures and ethnicities within it. You name a group, and there is a Latin Hispanic variant. East Asian, of course. Middle Eastern, absolutely. South Asian, por supuesto. Mennonites, sí señor. We got everyone. Since we have absolutely everyone represented, our genetics are extra wild. Have you ever seen those families who are blood related, but no one looks similar? Latin Hispanic genetics. Our genetics are out of control. That's why my mom looks white and I look exotic. In Zacky Zack's Justice League, when Barry is looking at a picture of himself and says, a very attractive Jewish boy, which I believe that's what Ezra's ethnic thing is. But yet in this movie, Barry is Latin Hispanic now. This Barry can be both Latin Hispanic and Jewish. During the Second World War, a whole bunch of Eastern European and Jewish folks fled to Latin America. They ended up mostly in northern Mexico and South America. Fun fact, the flour tortilla is said to be a product of crypto Jews in northern Mexico trying to make unleavened bread and ended up making the flour tortilla. Ezra looks ethnic and Latin Hispanic covers all ethnicities. All. So it does make sense to make this Barry Allen Latin Hispanic. A choice I cannot get over. I am obsessed. Pastelitos. But a choice I understand. It makes sense. If Ezra didn't look exotic, this choice would have never happened. Or they wouldn't have been able to get away with it. Más bien. Pastelitos. Number 2. Director Andy Muschietti is Latin Hispanic. Muschietti sounds like an Italian last name, and it very well could be. As we established, a whole bunch of folks came over to the New World during the war. There is a ton of European happening in South America. Muschietti is from Chile. As a proud Chileno, not to be confused with Chilango, which is very, very different, Muschietti had to put in some Latin Hispanic sazon in there. And this big important comic book movie is the perfect place. Although probably it wasn't intentional. Putting emotional family mother-son stuff in a movie, he probably needed to make this relationship feel as real as possible. No one does drama and super strong emotions better than Latin Hispanic folks. Some of that natural emotional muscle memory came out in, maybe inadvertently, making this very Latin Hispanic. Our emotional baggage, it hits different. It hits better. I want to see a telenovela version of The Flash now. The CW version wasn't dramatic enough. Not in that way. Calm down. All he can do is run real fast. You need to relax. I'm sure that one scene with Nora and Barry isn't enough proof that this Barry is Latin Hispanic now. This isn't the only thing that led me to this conclusion. Let's take a closer look. There are a few, and it makes sense. As we saw, the director is Chileno, so of course he is going to put in references to Latin Hispanic stuff. If you are Latin Hispanic, I'm sure you noticed these things too. Sure, they needed a reference to someone else that runs real fast, but this reference is specifically Latin Hispanic. I don't find Speedy Gonzalez offensive. I know a lot of folks do, or might. I have yet to find a Latin Hispanic person who is offended by Speedy Gonzalez. Heck, we're not even offended by Slowpoke Rodriguez. Speedy was quick, clever, and never was caught by the cat. Plus, all this iconography is from Spain, not so much Mexico or Latin America. But hey, only we know that. Speedy for Barry might be a connection to his mom. They probably liked and bonded over this Latin Hispanic cartoon icon. Supergirl is played by Latin actress Sasha Calle. She was a big highlight in this movie and played it really well. Sasha took on the role of every single Latin Hispanic firstborn daughter, of just throwing everything on their back and carrying you to victory. There's so many memes about Latin Hispanic firstborn daughters who have to do everything by themselves, take care of the entire family, really get things going, protect everyone, look after everyone. That's exactly what the Supergirl did. I don't know if it was Sasha herself acting in this, or Muschietti's direction, or everyone knowing that's what Latin Hispanic firstborn daughters do, but it was wild and I love to see it on the big screen or on HBO Max because I don't go to the movies anymore. Sasha also has a little bit of an accent and I enjoyed hearing it. I need more Latin Hispanic accents. Help take the stigma away and make our parents feel less self-conscious about having an accent. The overprotective nature of Hispanic Latinas is very much in this movie through Supergirl and Nora. Barry is a HAP, a Hispanic American prince. I'm only familiar with MAPs, Mexican American princes, but I know this is a thing throughout the Latin Hispanic diaspora. Latin Hispanic males are treated like kings. They can do no wrong. They are walking perfection. They can get away with anything and everything. They never do housework and are waited on hand and foot. You'll always hear a story where sisters of the MAP will have to be their brother's servant. Barry is 100% a HAP. When we meet 18-year-old Barry, his mom says her boy is perfect. Barry doesn't do his own laundry. Nora decorated Barry's apartment, which he shares with 3 other people. 18-year-old Barry is a spoiled brat because his Hispanic mom does what Hispanic moms do with their sons. Perpetuate machismo and let them get away with murder, as long as they're not gay. but that's a whole other conversation. Barry, mijo, good luck bringing Iris home to meet your Hispanic mom. Also, white folks are known for leaving home and moving as far away as possible when they turn 18. Latin Hispanic folks do not do that. 18-year-old Barry chooses to go to college near his childhood home, and the family has a standing Sunday family dinner where they are together and catch up on the week's events. I'm positive Barry lives on his own because his father pushed him to be more independent. If it was up to Barry, and especially Nora, Barry would still be living at home. It would be a full Latin Hispanic male thing where he'd bring his girlfriend to live with him at his parents' house. Making Barry Latin Hispanic is adding so much to his character, it's nuts. The song Nora and Barry are singing is called Pedro Navaja by Rubén Blades and Willie Colon. It's about a drug dealer who kills a hooker and gets killed himself by that very hooker. It was made into a movie in the 80s starring Andrés Garcia. It's a very popular song for Latin Hispanic Caribeños. This song, being part of Barry's childhood, feels so much like Latin Hispanic growing up in America kind of childhood, where you listen to fun and great songs with super inappropriate lyrics. Lyrics you don't realize are shocking until you're an adult. Then it's like, ay Dios mío, ¿qué pasa con mis padres? Oh yeah, it's a fun and great song. I don't know about other immigrant kids, but Latin Hispanic immigrant kids go through this a lot. With so much music. Nora dances and cusses in Spanish. All of us Latin Hispanics have the strongest feelings, emotions, sentiments tied to the Spanish language. For me, sometimes you can't express yourself properly in English. You have to do it in Spanish. Spanish does it better. At the end of the movie, Barry sings that song from his childhood in Spanish. He could say the sentiment in English, but those feelings have to be expressed in Spanish. There's no other choice. But Barry doesn't speak Spanish, I hear you say. Nora feels like one of those Latin Hispanic parents that never taught their kids Spanish so they wouldn't be discriminated against. There is a long, ugly history where Latin Hispanic folks had to pass as white as much as they could to avoid discrimination and lynchings. Yes, it happened to us too. Being proud and bilingual is a more recent thing. There is a whole generation of Latin Hispanics who grew up in the 60s and 70s who never learned Spanish. Since Nora has such a thick accent, I'm sure she faced some kind of racism and made sure her child would never go through that. So Barry didn't learn Spanish. Barry is a no sabo kid. So am I, Barry. So am I. And as I get older, the worse it gets. You know what? That's enough proof. Let me know if you noticed something else. Yeah, I don't hate this movie. Only Tom Cruise and I like this movie. He's a mega movie nerd, so Tom has the cinema cred that matters. All the things that are wrong or befuddling, I'd bet good money those are studio notes. Some cigar chomping executive was like, that Spider-Man movie made $1 billion. Do that here. They could have done that better had they had this Barry and the CW Grant Gustin Barry. They've done it before, and those two have good chemistry. This moment is the ultimate Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover that genuinely blew my mind. And there were a ton of amazing moments, but this one was the best. Well, for sentimental reasons, the second best. More of a focus on the mom stuff. Like, that's the best part that absolutely everyone connects with. And Ezra is a good actor that could have made this really tug at the heartstrings. I know we, or at least I, have seen it done so much better in season 1 of The Flash. It had me and Kevin Smith weeping like babies. You know, come to think of it, a lot of the stuff in this movie I've seen done better on TV, oddly enough. I think they even use the same theme at the beginning. Grant is not problematic, so there's that too. Gosh dang it, why are you so goddamn attractive? It's a good thing I quit dating years ago. Pastelitos. The first half is kind of a mess. The second half is a lot better. That could be because Michael Keaton is such an excellent actor. He is the best part of that Spider-Man movie, and he is by far the best thing in this movie. That dude elevates everything he's in. Thank you, sir, for making this movie a lot better than it deserved to be. All the references and Easter eggs were great. I enjoyed them. I won't spoil them, but the one involving a giant spider was the best one. Don't try to think of the logic of time travel. It will never make sense. The only good time travel media I've seen is Legends of Tomorrow, so I'd recommend you watch that instead. It is much better and way more interesting. As annoyed as I was by 18-year-old Barry, we did get side butt, so that was cool. Pastelitos. I was fine with old man Barry. Their dynamic was odd, but did get better as the movie progressed. Not a great dynamic, but not the worst. You know, I have a wild fan theory about the casting of this Barry, and let's just get into it. Ezra as Barry is miscast. I know I'm not alone in this feeling, which is shocking because Zacky Zack is really good at casting. Whether you like his movies or not, whether you vibe with the tone and the nihilism, Zack Snyder is amazing with visuals and excellent at casting. This entire cast is great. All the naysayers got on board with Batfleck and Gal as Diana and mi nene lindo Henry as Superman. Jason Momoa as Aquaman is truly a genius choice. Look at all the actors Zacky Zack has casted. Across the board, they've been great choices. The only other director that is this good at casting is Francis Ford Coppola. I am dead serious. So Ezra as Barry Allen, The Flash, should have been great. But this casting hasn't been well received and folks are not feeling it entirely, especially after seeing 2017's Justice League. While that movie is not good, the way Ezra played Barry was so bad. I hated it. Gracias. Lo odio. Then we got Barry in Zacky Zack's version and it was much better. Still felt out of place, but way better than the 2017 version. It should have worked though. Ezra is a good actor and Zack knows how to use his actors effectively. So what's happening? The other week I was watching a different Ezra Miller movie. They look full twink in this one. Pastelitos. We need to talk about Kevin. And then it clicked. I think I know what Zacky Zack was originally aiming for when casting Ezra. Barry did not feel like Barry. This version of Barry felt more like Robin, the young, inexperienced kid, excited, innocent, overwhelmed, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. And we need to talk about Kevin. Ezra plays psycho killer Kiss Kiss Kevin. Since their features are so sharp, there are certain angles where Ezra looks like the Joker. Like, put the Joker makeup on them, it looks legit. Let's combine these two things now. Since this Barry feels and acts more like Robin and looks kind of like the Joker, I think Zacky Zack was trying to do the Tim Drake Robin Return of the Joker storyline. In that story, Joker and Harley Quinn kidnap Tim Drake, torture him, and turn him into a mini Joker. When Tim gets older, there's a trigger or something that goes off and makes him into the actual Joker. Had they done that, made him Tim Drake Robin, that would have been absolutely amazing and completely bananas. I'm sure Warner Brothers, in their infinite wisdom, told Zack Snyder he could not do that. Zack Snyder compromised and made Ezra the Flash instead. With the Flash in this movie, Zack could do all the slow motion his little heart desires. And boy, does my mans love slow motion. Tell me I'm wrong. Batman takes Barry under his wing, as if Barry was his ward. Bruce treats Barry like one of his Bat kids. Barry considers Bruce his bestie. Barry has to play cleanup for all the Bat disasters. Barry is quite a bit younger and smaller than the rest of the JLA. Ezra looks young enough to be a Robin, so it's not weird, but old enough so it's not creepy. Barry's favorite hero is Superman, a very Robin thing to say. This Barry is trying to be adorable, or adorkable, as they say in millennial parlance. They even have a Teen Titans friendship thing happening with Barry and Victor. I'm just saying. Ezra could have been Tim Drake. Too bad he ended up being Jason Todd. 3 hardcore comic book fans are laughing so hard at that right now. Or maybe not. 18-year-old Barry is super annoying, like he's Bart Allen Impulse instead of Grandpa Barry Allen Flash. Maybe that's what Zacky Zack was really going for. Again, tell me I'm wrong. Ezra as a final form absurdist Joker would have been spectacular and pretty awesome. Instead, we got whatever the heck this was. Yikes. Although we probably need to retire all things Joker. We've done that character. Let's move on. I think my fan theory made all of this so much better. My sister constantly has ideas to make movies or TV shows better, and I think I'm finally honing my skills in that area. Now that I've made this video, I can finally stop thinking about this Flash possibly being Latin Hispanic. Pastelitos. I can't wait to see Blue Beetle now. It better be super duper Latin Hispanic. More appropriately, they could have cast a Latin Hispanic as Barry Allen / The Flash. They did it with Supergirl / Kara Zor-El, and I don't think anyone complained. And like I said, she was fantastic. I just want more Latin Hispanics in more things. It makes everything so much more interesting and fun. I know I never talked about the controversy around Ezra. All I can say is, if it's true, throw the whole person away. We don't need them. If it's a mental health crisis, for real, get some help, chiquito. I find them extremely attractive and would like to continue to have something pretty to think about when I'm in the shower. I have so little. Be better and let me have this. I'm so sorry for being such a trash panda. Ni volviéndome a amasar. I'm probably gonna watch this movie again. I can't help it. Pastelitos. It's gonna be super funny. I put out this video and then like someone else watches it and puts out their own video as if that Tim Drake Joker theory was theirs. Bound to happen. But fam, you saw it here first. You know what's up.